It seems only yesterday when the world relaxed for a while and watched, enchanted, the fairy tale romance of a princess and a wedding in Westminster Abbey. Afterwards, right away from the affectionate but glaring headlines, a honeymoon on board the Royal Yacht Britannia, bound for the Caribbean. To capture some of the highlights of that trip, we took another majestic Britannia, which, in a matter of hours, transported our cameras not only halfway across the world, but back into time. For here on the beautiful island of Antigua is the historic English harbour, once the headquarters of Nelson, and almost untouched since the day he sailed away to his last battle, Trafalgar. The name Antigua is associated with famous sailors because apart from Nelson, who was based here for 2 years, the island was discovered by Christopher Columbus on his second voyage in 1493, and he named it after the church of Santa Maria la Antigua in Seville. When confronted by such a profusion of colour and spectacle, which are a part of the West Indies, it's difficult for the average visitor to know which islands to choose. So much depends on what one especially wants from a holiday. Princess Margaret and Mr. Armstrong Jones surely wanted the solitude and serenity found mainly in Antigua, Trinidad and Tobago. Their voyage took 6 weeks. Ours, with the speed of modern air travel, only 6 days. Much of the local atmosphere is, of course, common to all 3 islands. The local fishermen at work, for example. At the very heart of the many international shipping and air services is Trinidad, with its capital, Port of Spain, also the capital of the British West Indies Federation. This island paradise, the home of Calypso, has everything, from its fascinating cosmopolitan city to the most magnificent scenery. It's an encouraging thought that cheaper airfares are now bringing this English possession within the compass of even English tourists. From the airport, there are many contrasting attractions, but we, in the Path of the Princess, paused for a while in some of the luxuriant tropical vegetation, one of the features of Trinidad, probably because it is nearer the equator than the other islands. Among the exotic flowers to be seen are the different varieties of orchid, although without detracting in any way from this splendor, with a climate of unlimited sunshine and a year-round temperature of 84 degrees Fahrenheit, nature has a pretty easy job. This is a flowering cactus, by the way. Horticultural enthusiasts might recognize the butterfly orchid and the wasp orchid, the torch orchid, and the Kana lilies. Another feature of these exotic plants is the tremendous profusion in which they grow. No sooner does one wither than another flowers to take its place, almost as quick as weeds grow. A local dance which has already made its rhythmic impact over here is limbo. Featured in theatres, nightclubs, and even at holiday camps, limbo is something in which everyone can participate and throw away their inhibitions. The standard of dancing, however, varies considerably, but nowhere will you find anyone to this troupe who greatly impressed the royal honeymooners. contrast to the wild beauty of the Trinidad landscape, the cultivated splendor of Government House, a symbol of the island's close link with England's in 1797. The inter-island air ferry straddles the distance from Trinidad to Tobago, perhaps the most romantic of them all, in less than 20 minutes. After the vibrant undertones of Trinidad, Tobago is tranquil. Immortalized as the Robinson Crusoe Island, it's only about 26 miles long by 7 miles wide, and deeply indented by sun-baked beaches like this, where the princess and her husband stayed for a while. It's said that Tobago has everything that other Caribbean beauty spots have, plus an indefinable charm that turns an ordinary holiday into a special memory. Needless to say, the wildlife is abundant. But even if you're not impressed by spectacles like this, there are other activities to keep everyone happy, including, of course, deep sea and spearfishing, and for the less energetic, just plain swimming. The coral reefs were another highlight of the couple's stay on Tobago. On Baku Reef, for example, one can walk waist-deep through lanes of living coral and look down at an incredible marine world. We have shown you just some of the highlights of the honeymoon cruise and why, perhaps, they chose these islands. Let's hope the time is not far away when many of us will take the same path of a princess and her husband.